the Cards and Comic Show. Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I got a different kind of video for you. This is a very interesting video. This is a box of comic books that was supposed to have been shipped to me in 2018. And they finally arrived. And, this was partly due to me moving, having a new address, and things being forwarded around and things being placed in limbo for a lot of years. And I actually forgot about these comic books, honestly, because during that move, I, was so busy, with work and moving that I forgot that these comic books actually should have shown up because they weren't big books. At the time, they weren't big books, but, and so they were just kind of like books I bought in the heritage auctions. And what I did, with heritage auctions, a lot of times I would buy books that were not the highest grade, but they were key books or cool books, and I would a lot of times just take them to shows and resell them. And because in the heritage auctions, you can sometimes get good deals because people look for the big books, and some stuff slips through the cracks, and so I just look for some good deals and I buy them. So it was like a mishmash of books sometimes. So it wasn't like I was like super bummed that these books never showed up. I forgot about them during the move. Because, in that move, you're like 2 or 3 months, you're just like dealing with boxes and unpacking. And then I just kind of forgot these never showed up. And all of a sudden I get an email saying like, hey, we found this box in our inventory at Heritage Auctions, and it should have gone to you 4 years ago. And I guess it got returned to them. And they never contacted me. And so I have this box of comic books. I'm going to open the box. We're going to go over. And it's 5 comic books. 4 graded, 1 raw, according to my list. And we'll see what we got. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the value or what I paid for them. And the invoice. And because I got the invoices in my email. So I got that number. So what I actually paid and what the comic books are worth today in today's market. And we'll go through it. So we'll be right back after I open this box. All right, we are back. I have everything unboxed now, and I had to stop and do it twice because I had some technical errors. So we'll start again. So we'll start with the first book here, XMen 129. Again, you can see the heritage sticker. It is a CGC 9.2 off-white to white. Again, it's the first Kitty Pryde and the White Queen Emma Frost. So if you can kind of see it right now, it's hard because of my camera. So first appearance Kitty Pryde, the White Queen Emma Frost, and Sebastian Shaw. So again, this book seems like it's really important. It has a lot of first appearances of some pretty cool characters in the X-Men universe. It's a 9.2. So I paid for this book back in 2018, $168. Currently it's worth $450, the last couple sales. And so that's around a $280 change in value, which is about 170% increase in value for me. So this definitely was a book that I did a good job in identifying a good copy. And again, 9.2 at this time, this book you could have bought a 9.6 and 9.8, not broke the bank. And so I was looking for affordable books. Again, this was $168 that could resell, for like 200 or 180 or $200, and just make a little money on them. And but not having it for 4 years, this book went up to $450. So about $280. So this book is definitely a book that I did well on in terms of value. And again, it's a lot of cool first appearances. So there you go. X-Men number 129, CGC 9.2. My first, my last comic books that's come back to me from Heritage. So book number 1. Book number 2. Again, I said I didn't have a lot of huge books, but these books are, I guess now they're a lot bigger than they were originally. But this book right here was big even when I bought it. This was the only book that was, super expensive at the time. For me anyway, it was a bigger book. And it is Batman number 189 in a CGC 8.0. And this is the first Silver Age appearance of Scarecrow. Jonathan Crane. So again, and this is and again, I can't see what's here because they put the stickers on here. Heritage likes to do that. So I want to peel it to see what the actual page quality is. I think, well, it says cream to off-white pages. So there you go. That's what it says. It's right there instead of in the other spot. Because this is a little bit of an older grade. So there you go. Cream to off-white. It's not the greatest page content. It's probably why I got it for a little bit of a discount. But again, this book sells pretty consistently in around $1,000 to $1,200 in an 8.0. And 8.0 is a pretty high grade for this book. If you look at the census and you look at how many are selling in this book or in this condition, because this is from 1967, so it's firmly Silver Age book, but you don't see tons of 8.0s. The green makes it really tough, but again, I'll show you a little closer up. It is not that bad of a copy. It's hard with the glare from the camera for CGC books, but it's a nice copy. I don't think it's go up in grade or anything, but I don't have this book. And again, I price it, there's been sales a little higher than $1,200, a little lower, so I priced it around $1,200. And I paid $456 for it. Value change about $740 or 163% change in value. So my first book, the X-Men 129, went up $280. This went up $744. And both about 160 to 170% change in value from when I first bought them. So again, buying books, putting them away for 4 years because I had no choice. Was actually a good financial move for me because the market's gone up across the board. So, but these books have first appearances of key characters, so that makes sense. And these are a little more hard to get condition wise, and so it's nice to get books that these aren't just trash books that that were just sitting around waiting to come in from Heritage. These were actually books I'm glad to have because I don't have either one of these books in my collection, X-Men 129 or Batman 189. So it's a lot of fun to see these books come in. Now, next up is a book that, when I saw it on the invoice, I kind of laughed because it's Detective 141, 241, and it's the Rainbow Batman cover. And if anyone who's seen this book, you'll see that I got a Batman in pink, but Robin says he's red, but he looks very pink. You see all the different color uniforms. I think each one had different power. So it's just one of those books and covers that people just like because it's so of its time. The book itself is graded good to very good. The last couple of sales of books in this condition range, 3.5 sold for $510. A raw book, I think a little worse in this condition, sold for $577. I got it priced about $500 because it's gone up quite a bit since I bought it. I paid $156 for it back in 2018. So again, a $340 increase in value, about 220% increase in value. So again, pretty strong increase in value for this book. And again, it's just because this book doesn't come up for sale that often. And it's just one of those really interesting covers that people just value. In fact, in a previous video, I talk about picking up at my local comic book store the Beatles cover, on, and so the Batman with the Beatles cover, just because people like the Beatles, that book's worth a lot of money. And so it's just like sometimes these covers, I guess, are popular. A lot of Neil Adams covers are very popular. That they just become kind of people just liked them, even if they don't collect a lot of Batman books. They like to have covers like this. So, pretty cool book. Next up is a book, and again, there's 5 total. So, next up is a book that I bought just because I like the cover at the time, and this has nothing too significant about it, but it's Aquaman number 40 and a pretty high grade, 9.0. This book is from 1968. Off-white to white pages again. This is the first Jim Aparo artwork in comic books. So, just, kind of a pretty high quality artist. But I just liked the cover. These early Aquaman books have really cool covers. These kind of like painted watercolor style books cover. Just a lot of motion on this book, a lot of dramatics. So I just thought it was cool. I paid $84 for this book back in 2018, and I think I don't have an actual real modern sale of this book. I think it'd bring at least 100 to 150 bucks as a 9.0. I saw a bunch of raw books that were selling between 20 and 50 bucks. So I think a graded 9.0 could bring 150 to 100. I have a price at 100 bucks, value change of like 16 bucks, not much. So, this one was without a lot of modern comps. I don't, or recent comps. I don't really have a way to price it very well, but I think, again, I didn't lose money on it, and it's a cool book, and I really like the cover. It's just one of those things that you look at it and you say, that's a really cool cover. If you're a big fan of Aquaman, then, you may want it. And so definitely not mad I have it. And the last book is obviously going to be one of, the bigger books in the collection that I got from this endeavor. And again, I had to do this video twice because I had some technical issues. But this book is obviously the first appearance of Black Cat. This is SpiderMan 194. A book that has gone up and down and in value quite a bit. This is an 8.0. I paid $180 for mine. And right now they're selling pretty strongly around 500 bucks. And I think, Black Cat's going to be a character that's going to be featured both in modern comic books and in the movies or in some sort of media eventually. Just too strong and cool of a character to not. And I figure, that'll drive some value in the future. But, she's such a strong character in the books and the mythos, and does so great on the variant cover circuit that, she'll never go away and always going to be worth something. So there you go. SpiderMan 194, CGC 8.0, first Black Cat. And again, I paid $180 for it. It's worth about $500 now, so a value of gain of about $320, and about 180% increase in value from what I paid. And if you stack them all up here, which I will do, you get this idea like I bought these 5 books. Just really with the idea to, eventually just kind of, have them to have inventory and to sell in the future. So I never thought about holding these. So I was kind of forced to, just like I said, having a vault. But overall, I paid about $1,000 for all these books. Current value is about $2,750. Again, about a $1,700 increase in value, 163% in value. So again, and these aren't huge books. I mean, you could say a couple of the books are very nice, and I agree they're all really nice books. But you know, when I first got notified, I had some books, coming to me. I was hoping maybe there was something just really amazing in there. But even this doesn't really disappoint me because I don't have some of these books. And then, that Black Cat, I think, is probably my best copy of that book. So it's a Spider-Man collector. That's really cool. But it just shows that, buying comic books 5 years ago, 4 years ago, was a good deal, a good idea. And Heritage had some good, ways to get books at a lower price because people were just concentrating on the big books. So, and that's what I did. So there it is. That's my kind of my 4 year delayed shipment from Heritage, and some really cool books. And again, even this raw book was fun. And I think they're just kind of a fun mishmash of different books. And there you go. Hopefully you liked it. I'm going to put up, kind of the value as I go through it. You kind of see, what they're worth today versus what I paid. And there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.